Now, I want to start styling my headline similar to obviously my finished product over here. So we're going to have to add some, well, some CSS clearly, and we'll do some padding with it, uh, some other stuff. We're going to do some stuff next, so here we go. Let's do that stuff. Um, Now, what are we going to do? Are we going to add an external style sheet like we did with MailChimp? Or should we add inline CSS, which would be on the same page? Well, I'll tell you what. Uh, since we're building a single page site, I am just going to add the CSS straight to the HTML page, not inline, rather, not like within the element that makes it difficult to manage. I'm going to add it in the head as a style because I want to reduce the number of, get this, HTTP requests, which are these things. You know, when a page loads, basically when you first load up a page over here like this, the browser first is going to download your HTML document. Then it's going to sit there and load anything else external that's coming with an HTTP. Um, what the, multiple HTTP requests are what makes pages run slower. So if you want to optimize your page, the less external resources you rely on, the better. Now, we can look at what this MailChimp is and bring it in locally if we wanted to. We're not going to get that crazy. Um, I mean, you could think that if you just embed your own YouTube video, you'd be better off because it's an external HTTP request. But no, it won't be because YouTube will run faster than your website. Um, but at least what we do create ourselves and have control over, like the CSS, we're going to do it the way I'm saying. We're going to add it right to the HTML page. So let's go to the head, and right under here, I'm going to add the style link. Oops, I got to actually spell style properly. And I'll close it. And here we go. And now let me actually start styling this stuff. What am I targeting? I'm targeting the headline, right? Because that's what I'm going to add the background image and whatnot to. So I'm going to copy that name. And because it's an ID and I'm doing it with CSS, I got to start it with the hash, put in headline, put in my curly braces, and I'm ready to party. So what am I going to do first? Well, the first thing I want to do is actually probably add my background image to it. So go figure, background dot image will do it. And then I'll go URL because that's just the syntax of CSS, a bit different. And now I need to find where this is. I still need a path to where it is. So much like my images down below, I know I have to start with that IMG folder because it lives in the IMG folder. I'll hit it with a /, and let me go to the name. Spring rolls and dipping sauce. And this is my blurred image. Remember, I blurred it out, and I may even stretch it out beyond its native pixelation. I'd rather stretch it out than shrink it down because the file size would be smaller. Because I'm not trying to make this a high-res pretty picture. It's more just like a background, and it's almost like the better quality it is, it sort of takes away from what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to make it like pretty and aesthetic and not distract from the content. So with that said, let's go to here and give it a refresh. Okay, all right, so there we go. We have our image. We're getting there. I want my text to be white, so you just use color. I know you may semantically think it should be called text color. I don't want to digress into why that is. But I'm just going to, it's just color to color the text. I'll go color, white. White is a keyword. You could use a hex color. You could use an RBG color. But for me, I'm going to use just the keyword white. And let me give it a refresh. Okay, that's cool. what else do I want to do over here? I feel like it needs a little breathing room or something, like some padding. Let's go with some padding. So if I just put it in here, I go padding, and then let me go 1 EM. And 1 EM means one size of the M, the capital M, which we don't have any in here. Go figure that one. But that'll give us enough. That's a relative, not an absolute value, which I prefer to work in. All right, all of a sudden now everything has a little bit of breathing room. Notice how the 1 EM gives us smaller padding between the P elements, the paragraph, versus the header 1. Well, the header is bigger. So the header is getting still 1 EM of its size, so it's relative to its size, versus 1 EM of the size over here. Anyway, let's not get too into that. And there is one other nice little CSS property that's worth knowing, and that's background size, and we're going to say cover. Now what that does, now check out our image, it changed. So now what the whole HTML cover does is it just makes this thing cover the entire width of the background that it's accommodating. So that way it'll always look fairly good at what it's supposed to be. I mean, honestly, like I said, we could do without this cover option, because then it'll just be its native size, and you see how it's a little bit different. No big deal. Optional, but gives us a little more control as designers, just to really get this to look the way we want it to. Have a little more control.